Very warm good evening. My name is Riya Singh, and I'm talking from Events Publication. Firstly, welcome, ma'am. Welcome for in this interview. And firstly, I would like to ask, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. So let's start the interview with you. Firstly, my question is related to your book, The Exchange Chronicles, which presents a unique framework for real estate TDR exchange in India. So, what inspired you to take this ambitious project?
Uh, so this project has come up from a very personal experience. During my childhood, when my parents bought their first house, uh, uh, they paid a very hefty amount for that property, for the house that we own. That after that I spent most of my childhood. It took 14 years for them to get the possession. And house is something is a very sentimental thing for any woman. She doesn't feel secure if she is not living in her own home. So that was very traumatic experience for my mom and so for me. So when I joined the economics graduation when I was in RIA, I was going through a lot of economic theories that I came across. I realized it's something which cannot be solved as a political problem. It cannot be solved based on incentives. The system, the economic system of it, which we have today, that is of TDR or entire real estate market, is somehow distorted. And we need to push in some economic principles based on demand and supply. If we push in these economic principles, they bring in some kind of equilibrium. They solve this market problem, and we can look at this problem from a fresh perspective. Also, if we just walk on the road in your city, you will see a lot of dilapidated buildings staying as it is for 10 years, 14 years. And this is nothing but a TDR issue. A lot of people's house dreams are burned in those TDR issues because they don't get possession of the property. So yes, it comes from a personal issue, but when I was in economics school, I decided that whenever I will take up a research project, because I'm so much interested and passionate about research, this is going to be my first project, and I'm going to build an entire intellectual basis for it, and I'm going to prepare myself to give a kind of a policy measure for it. So yeah, that was the story.
Okay, so TDR is that is transferable development rights is can be actually complex for many. So how does you simplify this book like for policymakers, for like developers, for urban planners? How you able to simplify it? Because for a common man, it's actually very very complex.
If we'll see the DCPR book, it is that much thick. It's a very thick book,
Yeah.
and this is not the one book that deal with the real estate. There are almost thousands of laws that deals with the real estate, land laws and otherwise. The thing is, we have adopted TDR in 1992 by almost the US framework. So it is not resonated with our economy the way it should be. And what we have done, we have complicated the knowledge base so much by dissecting it. Like there are different rules for MADA, there are different rules for SEDCO, there are different rules for some rehabilitation. So by complicating a subject, making it a very large kind of a subject matter, we have created a problem which we don't have. Actually, we don't have a problem. So what I did, I divided the entire real estate into four units, basic units: property right units, TDR units, land units, and government charge units, and development right units. So different stakeholders, whether he is a builder, he's someone who is a banker, he's somebody who is a broker, he's somebody who is a just consumer like us, can deal with each other in the form of exchange, can transact with each other on an online platform in a very simplified manner. When you When you take out the entire real estate on an online platform, on an exchange platform, then everything becomes transparent. Right now, the way TDR are sold in the market, nobody knows how. So there are certain people who hold a TDR, and so there is kind of a distortion in the market. There is some kind of hoarding of TDR. That's why you see this disequilibrium where you pay a very low rent, but the property prices are very high, extremely high. You cannot even think about buying a property. So this is economic disorientation or disequilibrium. How we can solve by bringing it upfront, by bringing it online, on a platform where both suppliers and demand, the consumers, the ultimate people, they'll come on the platform, they will bid, they will auction, and they will buy these property rights along with TDR, along with property rights, along with land unit rights, and the government the government charge. It's not that everyone will buy and government will not get out of it. So government can create lot of revenue out of India. What is happening today? Government is getting money out of real estate, but it is in currency format. It is not in the format of a real kind of value out of it. You cannot TDR is something like government. The instrument is not well defined. It is not in the form of transaction. It is not sold and purchased on the exchange. So we cannot have a we cannot create a property out of it. How? By sharing it with the banks. You cannot share the TDR with banks. It is not possible for the government. Or government, this instrument cannot negotiate with the external economics, that is world economics, to gain value out of it. When that exchange government will be able to do, they will be able to take out the real value out of it when there will be the exchange. So this is the main problem because there is no liquidity. The thing is, it cannot be so much liquid asset, but the thing is, it cannot be so disoriented that it takes 3 years, 4 years to sell a property and then gain value out of it, profit out of it. You have to hold it very long time. You have to wait for the buyers for the years for taking value out of it. That cannot happen. There can be merchant bankers which can have where instruments can be created with a tokenized exchange where you can pledge it with the even government can pledge it with the and take money out of it. So yes, when we'll build the exchange, we'll bring the entire market upfront. When we'll have an online platform at like anything like equity, we have platform for equity. Now we have rates. Why not for TDR? Why not for property rights? Why not for development rights? Why not for land units? We can exchange on a very transparent platform. So that's the idea behind it.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you integrated advanced auction theories, you integrated blockchain, dynamic price modeling in your framework. So, how do these innovations make the system more, efficient, transparent, and strong as well?
So, basically, there are only two algorithms which are needed. One is execution algorithm, and another one is pricing algorithm. What execution algorithm? When there is a bid and ask, it matches the bid and ask, and it makes the transaction very simplified. But while doing so, in advanced auction theories or in the game theories, when this happens, there are always the people who do not follow the laws, who kind of do red tapeism, corruption, kind of hoard the money, or different kind of problems. So there are simple game rules. I have used the Vickers second auction bid auction model, Vickers model for this, and through this model, we make the entire mathematical framework in such a way it will break the rules of the game. It will not pay on time as a builder. If you will not give the possession to the people, you are the one who will be at a loss. So by making the rules of the game in a very simple manner, by penalizing him mathematically. This is a simple execution model. Then there is a pricing model. Of course, there is a government, so they can. So today what's happening? We have a ready reckoner rate. Government taxes is not ready reckoner rate, but there is no logic for it. If you ask logic for it, mathematical formulation for it, nobody knows. It's just the property. If anybody comes, he mentions some property prices on the registry. The average is taken, but this is not a logical or mathematical method. And economics, how the method is demand and supply. The entire data is available upfront. You take it and you mathematically derive at a price. That is a pricing algorithm. So we have a pricing algorithm, we have execution algorithm. Now, by putting some kind of edge on it, government charge is created. Government will derive value out of it. That charge will be deducted. The buyer, the ultimate buyers will pay for it. The developer will get his money, and it's easy. Everyone will be benefited.
Exactly. So, ma'am, what are the biggest challenges in implementing a TDR exchange in India, and how can it be overcome?
When some things are completely new, so we don't have any TDR exchange right now. We don't have real estate and TDR exchange as such, which is very famous, which is very available for people. So when any new idea comes up, there is always a skepticism where whether it will work, whether it's a Ponzi scheme, whether it's a scam or something. So definitely a government should take an initiative at the central level or at the state level. Without government stamp, there is no value in this proposition. But of course, the brains which will work behind it, they cannot solely from the public sector or from the government body, and we cannot completely rely on the government because a lot of technology will be involved, a lot of stakeholders will be involved. So everybody's opinions need to be taken into consideration to build it. So for that, we need a public and private partnership. So ideation is one stage, but execution is something altogether different. So right now, what I have proposed is a theoretical basis for it. What I have proposed just it's on paper, but a lot of execution difficulties will be there. So there need to be a public-private partnership to build this exchange and make it a reality.
So, ma'am, your work highlights equity, sustainability, and environmental accountability. So how does your proposed exchange, your what do you like growth is responsible for the development, or we'd say that for urban development?
The thing is, if you look at this problem from two kind of a thing. First is the slums. Look at this from slums. They are just located near the gutter, and look at their lives. It's miserable. So a lot of politics are created by this slums, and lot of living cost is exonerated for them to have a very sustainable life. This is the one thing. So our roads, there are traffic jams, we have no open space, we have no playground. So when this will come in the form of exchange, what will happen? There will be vertical development. It will be very aesthetic in nature, but we will have equivalent lot of open space. So we'll have gardens, we'll have a green space, we'll have mango, because there will be no incentive to do encroachment. Everything will be market based. If there is a demand, there is supply, and it's reflecting mathematically. So if demand is reflecting mathematically, there is no hoarding for it, there is no red tapeism for it, there is a transparency for it. Why someone will go and encroach it? So in this framework, I have devised a simple model for slum redevelopment. How it will work? There are developers who develop the slum. There are developers who are like, suppose there is Dharavi development, which is taking place. So they want to develop it in a very big commercial hub. So what will happen? The people who want to give habitation for slum developers, they will give a call option. The developers who want to acquire the land, they will give they will give a put option. Okay, fine, we'll give a money for it. You develop the property for slum development. In the horizon of Mumbai, any builder who want to develop property, right now what happened? There is a hoarding. Right now, the consent which is taken, it is not on online platform. it is completely kind of, there is no systematic process for it, for auctions. So no consent is taken, there is no platform for it, and there is no auction for developers who are all around the Mumbai who want to develop for the slums, and the people who want to acquire the lands of the slum to develop into commercial hubs. When everything will become online, the price for it, the actual cost of developing slums will come upfront, will be transparently placed on online platform. When that happens, development will be faster, smoother, efficient. There will be more vertical development, but we will have equivalent more open space. We'll have more roads, less congestion, less transportation, efficient transportation we can have, and we can have gardens. We can have blue gardens, like we can have water sources. So the thing is, the idea behind it is not urbanization is not bad, but it should be aesthetic.
Yes,
It should be
yeah.
sustainable. So vertical development, equivalent open space, and environment protection should be there for making that vertical development more sustainable and environment friendly. It's not that people are going to not live in the apartments. They're not going to stop living in the houses. And we cannot stop development. But we should have it in a more efficient manner. In that way, we have less slums and good development. Yeah.
Which is actually a need of our. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as a co-founder of Quantus Research, how does your organization contribute in reshaping this economic system and the real estate market?
So I come from real estate background, but my co-founder, he's also my husband, Karthik Junagadla. He comes from a quant and market background. So
Okay.
I have a lot of, he comes from a tech background as well. So in initial stages, I come from law and economics background, more theoretical background. But I don't have market perspective. I don't know how market actually works. And he has a 12 years of experience. So he completely contributed intellectually in making this entire proposition intellectually possible for me to put upfront in the form of a framework. Because the framework which I have given is a novel. It does not exist anywhere in the world. It's not something I have copy pasted it. So he intellectually supported it. The second thing is, as a researcher, as a PhD student, you come across a lot of times a situation where you want to just give up. It's emotional stress, it's everything. It's mental stress. You don't know whether you will be able to complete your project or not. Because it's kind of your intellectual brainchild. It's just like giving birth like a mother. So yeah, there is emotional support and there is intellectual support. That's how my co-founder supported me.
Great, ma'am. So, ma'am, blockchain is a major part of proposed TDR exchange. So, how does you see this technology transforming India's real estate sector in the next decade?
Blockchain, I'm not so much keen as a research student, or sorry, as an economic student on crypto. I'm not a pro crypto kind of a person. I have a lot of skepticism because when you cannot have a monetary policy to regulate the crypto, it is very difficult to adopt it in the economics, in macroeconomics. But there is one part of blockchain which is the tokenization of the contract. So a lot of our legal contracts are can be changed. The data can be tampered with. So this tokenization of contract and using it for establishing the execution algorithm is a very important part of blockchain which we can adopt in the legal, not just in real estate domain, but in entire legal domain. So a lot of tampering that happens with the contract, there will be a solution for it. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, ma'am, many policymakers struggle with implementing the economic reforms due to many issues such as bureaucratic hurdles is one of. So, what steps can be taken to ensure the more smoother and adoption of this particular framework if we talk about?
When I started the project, I have a mindset that as a researcher, it's not the first project I'm going to work with, and it's not the last project. So I will always work as a researcher. I will always work as someone who is passionate about research, and I will stay away from any kind of political or kind of political getting into politics or getting into bureaucratic framework of it. I always stay away from it so I can concentrate on my research work. But eventually, I have realized that I need to build a framework also. I have to code it, I have to build the algorithm, and I will have to give it to the stakeholders who are right stakeholders who can execute it, who have a capital. So yes, and someone comes from a research background who thinks that I have the strong opinion that a researcher should stay away from politics all the time. If you get intermingled in a lot of political aspects of it, then the way you will build a system, the way you will build a system, you will have that political mindset to benefit it for certain stakeholders or to benefit it either to bureaucrats, either to government, either to certain political party or certain stakeholders. So you should be always a neutral while building any kind of project. I have kept that neutrality till now, but how it goes further, I think I have applied for patent for this, and I will. I'm trying to learn coding, which is not my domain. Tech is not my domain, but I want to codify it in the algorithms, and I will give it away to the stakeholders who can take it further.
All the best for that, ma'am. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, your work is highly interdisciplinary because it combines technology, it combines policy, it combines market economics. So, what are your advice would you like to give to the researchers, entrepreneurs who are looking to drive the systematic change? I would say.
In my initial years, I approach a lot of people. Please help me. Please give me advice on this. So, researcher, it's a reality that if you are into a research project, nobody is going to help you, at least intellectually. So, having interdisciplinary domain knowledge and putting efforts into it, it's very possible. It's very much important. Throughout my journey, I learned that economics is not sufficient for me to kind of give any kind of economic reform or any kind of policy reform. I have to adopt law, I have to understand law, how it works. So I spent almost more years, equivalent years that I spent in economics. I spent in economics almost 8 years, learn the advanced option theories, how to build algorithms, how to build the best algorithm. But I spent equivalent almost 3 plus 1, 3 years of grad, 1 years of post grad, plus 3 to 4 years of practice, almost more years, 7, 8 years into a law to understand the system, how the law works, how the takes decisions, how the policy frameworks, the bill is passed, and everything. Every aspect of law I have taken into consideration, and yeah, that's how I was able to complete my PhD. So interdisciplinary knowledge is very important.
Yeah.
So even if you are from certain domain, don't rely on that domain unless you can build it into a policy framework. So interdisciplinary knowledge is very important.
So, ma'am, what's the next step for you after the Exchange Chronicles? Like, what are your plans? What are your upcoming projects?
Yeah. So I'm working on 4 hypotheses. I always wanted to work on agriculture insurance exchange. Agriculture insurance exchange where I want to build an exchange for agriculturists where they can transact their goods and services, goods means crops, and the yield out of it to directly to the insurance agencies by by having a tripartite agreement with the suppliers. This is one of the hypotheses I'm working on. The second hypothesis is sovereign data exchange. I'm very passionate about net neutrality kind of project because there is a lot of copyright infringement on the AI products that we are having. So any kind of data when it is created by researcher, if it can be monetized on the exchange, it will be great to solve this this encroachment on the copyright of the people by the AI. So I'm working on sovereign data exchange. I'm also working on sovereign currency exchange. because I'm very passionate about bricks. I'm very passionate about, you know, having kind of a similar, because all the economics data is stored in dollar, and it is not a wrong thing. It will always be there. It will never be wiped out. But the thing is, a lot of we need a system right now, which where continents are where the unions or like BRICS or EU or Europe, US or Russia or South Asian nation or SAARC nations, they can have the transaction in their own currency they want, how to monetize it, how to mathematically derive the price for it. We can decide it if we have a sovereign currency exchange. Then I'm also working on infrastructure exchange because there is a lot of red tapeism, there is a lot of corruption, while large, huge scale infrastructure projects are built like roads, like railways. So whenever there will be, we have exchange for it. We follow the auction principles for it, but there is not something kind of based on advanced auction theories. We need to adopt the advanced auction theories for building the infrastructure exchange. So there's 4 5 hypotheses I'm working on. I'm working on brushing up my mathematical knowledge in physics domain so I can adopt it in the economics domain and do further research.
Actually interesting, ma'am. And yeah, this is the interview that we had. Lastly, I just wanted to say that, ma'am, consistency is a key, and you proved it. And the years that you have given to this industry, it's actually like, for me, it's an inspiration. So thank you for this interview. I would like to end this interview. So have a great time, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.